That an chosen one. A community thinks you are the unsung champion after you surprised everybody with your quiet strength. The same people who once doubted you are now realizing they completely misjudged your character. You handled betrayal like a professional, heartbreak like a warrior, and humiliation like a teacher, and that shook the room. The ones who tried to block your access accidentally built your stage, and now doors once sealed shut are swinging wide open. The whispers have turned into applause, and the same crowd that ignored your name is now chanting it. You are becoming proof that divine justice always arrives in elegance. There was something that happened to you, something painful, something traumatic. Maybe it was public, or maybe you chose to make it public by speaking about it. Either way, people knew, people watched, people had opinions, and here's where you separated yourself from everyone else. You didn't throw everyone under the bus. You didn't point fingers and scream about whose fault it was. You took accountability. You said, yes, others were part of it. Yes, this pain was co-created. But I'm responsible for my healing. I'm responsible for how I move forward. I own this. That takes strength most people don't have. Most people would have burned everything down. Most people would have exposed every secret. Most people would have made absolutely sure everyone knew exactly who hurt them and how. But you didn't do that. You walked through something incredibly difficult with your head up. You handled emotions logically. You processed pain without weaponizing it. You set boundaries without exploding. You told your truth without dragging others through mud. And the people watching you, the ones who matter, noticed. These aren't regular people making regular decisions. These are gatekeepers, the higher-ups, the ones whose opinions sway opportunities in your favor or against you. This is an exclusive group. You can't just walk up and ask to join. You have to be invited. You have to be vouched for. There are rules. There are expectations. Discretion is valued above almost everything else. How you handle yourself under pressure matters more than almost any other quality. And someone knew this. Someone understood exactly how this community operated. Someone realized that if you could be painted a certain way to these people, you'd never get through those doors. So work began. Rumors spread. Narratives pushed. When your name came up, these gatekeepers heard about your past in the worst possible light. Your vulnerability got framed as instability. Your healing journey got twisted into drama. You looked abusive, conniving, unpredictable. Labels got attached that would make this exclusive community reject you immediately. For a while it worked. You were off the list. You weren't even being considered. You were blocked from an opportunity before you even knew the opportunity existed. But here's what your saboteur didn't count on. Didn't count on you continuing to be excellent. Didn't count on a situation arising where you'd have to show your true character publicly. Didn't count on the gatekeepers actually watching you in action instead of just listening to gossip. Then came the moment, the test, the crisis that put you on display. Something happened that required you to respond. Something that could have been handled badly. Something that would have been justified if you'd fallen apart or lashed out or played victim. The pressure was there. The justification was there. You could have confirmed every lie told about you, and nobody would have blamed you. But you didn't. You handled it with such maturity, such grace, such class, that everyone watching had to stop and reconsider everything heard. You used logic over emotion. You stayed composed under pressure. You took the high road when the low road was right there waiting. You spoke the truth without throwing people under the bus. You stood your ground without burning everything down. You showed exactly who you are, not who someone said you were, not who rumors painted you as, but who you actually are when tested, and it shocked observers. Expectations included drama. Expectations included instability. Expectations included confirmation of the narrative. Instead, you demonstrated the opposite. You showed discretion. You showed wisdom. You showed exactly the qualities valued most in exclusive circles, and suddenly everything heard about you stopped making sense. Suddenly the picture didn't match reality. Suddenly questions started. Who told us about this person? Where did this information come from? Why doesn't what we're seeing match what we were told? And the more digging happened, the more manipulation became clear. Someone had pushed a narrative, someone had an agenda, someone wanted to make sure you never got close to this opportunity. And now that someone is in trouble, because here's what happens when you sabotage someone and it backfires. When lies get exposed and truth stands clear, you don't just lose credibility, you become the problem, you become the liability, you become the person everyone talks about in corners and in exclusive communities where reputation is everything. That's a death sentence. The person who tried to block you thought strategy was happening, thought position protection was happening, thought competition elimination was happening, but all that happened was character exposure. All that happened was self-targeting. Now let me tell you who this person is, because chosen one, this matters. This wasn't random, this was someone close to you, someone who might be family, or someone you considered family, someone who knew enough about you to be dangerous. An opportunity you were going for triggered panic. Maybe you were going to be superior, maybe you were going to make more money, maybe your success would expose mediocrity, maybe your elevation meant position risk. Whatever it was, it couldn't happen. So a massive risk got taken, stories went to the gatekeepers, your past got used against you, your pain got weaponized, your healing got twisted, you looked like everything you're not. And this happened while smiles stayed in your face, while support got voiced, while best wishes got expressed. That's the kind of betrayal we're talking about. That's the level of sabotage you survived without even knowing you were under attack. But the universe doesn't let that slide. Divine justice doesn't look away. Truth has a way of surfacing no matter how deep burial goes. And now it's all coming to light. The gatekeepers know what happened, know who lied, know why, and handling is happening. Conversations are happening, decisions are happening, mistake correction is happening, and the person who sabotaged you is watching a world crumble while yours expands. If you felt the truth in these words, hype this video so more chosen ones like you can see it. The gatekeepers are having meetings about you, boardroom conversations, not about whether to give you a chance, about how to apologize for not giving you one sooner, about how to make this right, about how to bring you in, about how to offer you what should have been offered before someone poisoned the well. You're seen clearly now. Your grace is seen. Your class is seen, your strength is seen, your character is seen, and impressions are strong. There's an invitation coming, an opportunity opening, a door swinging wide that was locked shut. Outreach will happen, meeting requests will happen, offers will get made, not because of favors, not because of pity, but because of recognized value, because of talent standing in clear view, because understanding exists that almost losing you was their mistake, not yours. Apologies will come, offers will come, and chosen one, you need to be ready. When that invitation comes, when outreach happens, stand in your power, know your worth. Don't let lowballing happen just because gratitude exists. Don't accept less than deserved just to get in the door. Don't let testing happen by offering minimum when you're worth maximum. What you bring is known, your value is known, you just demonstrated it under pressure. So when money conversation comes, be brave, ask for what you deserve, negotiate like the asset you are. Do your research before you walk into that room, know what the position pays, know what people with your skills make, know what you're walking into, know what gets needed, know how you fill that need. Be prepared, be confident, be clear, not arrogant, not entitled, but certain, grounded in the reality of what you bring and what that's worth, because this opportunity isn't being offered because of pity, it's being offered because of need for what you have. Remember that. Advice might come from someone who knows how these circles work, someone who's been in these rooms before. Listen, learn the landscape, understand the politics, but ultimately trust yourself. You've already proven you can handle difficult situations with wisdom. You've already shown you stay grounded under pressure. You've already demonstrated you make good decisions when it matters. So gather information but make your own choice. This opportunity might require sacrifice. You might have to move. You might have to leave comfort behind. You might have to step into unfamiliar territory. And that's acceptable, because what you're moving toward is bigger than what you're leaving. What you're stepping into is greater than what you're walking away from. Think back to when you were younger. What did you want then? What excited you before life got complicated? That dream, that vision, that goal. It's coming full circle, but it's coming back elevated, coming back bigger, coming back better, because you're better than you were then. You've been refined through fire, tested through pressure, proven through crisis. The pain you walked through wasn't wasted. The betrayal you experienced wasn't meaningless. The rumors spread about you weren't just cruel. All preparation, all refinement, all part of you becoming ready for what's next. Because where you're going, you need thick skin, you need wisdom, you need composure under pressure, you need to understand politics, you need discretion, you need the ability to take the high road when others go low. And you just walked through a masterclass in all of that. You just survived training designed to prepare you for rooms you haven't entered yet. So when you walk into that room, when you sit at that table, when you accept that position, you won't be intimidated, you won't be overwhelmed, you won't shrink, because you've already survived worse, you've already overcome bigger obstacles, you've already proven you belong wherever you choose to stand. Some of the people you're about to meet are divinely placed in your path. Someone in that group might become a close friend, someone might become a mentor, someone might become a partner. These connections matter. These relationships will open things you can't see yet. So stay open, stay wise, stay discerning. Not everyone who smiles is safe. Not everyone who applauds is supportive. Some will study you for weaknesses. Some will wait for you to fail. That's why you stay sharp. That's why you stay grounded. That's why you keep using wisdom over emotion. But the right people will prove themselves. The right people will be consistent. The right people will celebrate you without jealousy. The right people will support you without expecting constant payback. Those are your people. Those are the ones to invest in. And connections are coming. Presence exists in that community, waiting to meet you, ready to build with you. You were kept out of circles that would have been comfortable but limiting. You were blocked from positions that would have been safe but small. You were denied access to spaces that would have felt good but kept you contained. And now that you're finally being let in, you're not the same person who first applied, not the same person who first got dismissed. You've been through something. You've grown through something. You've become someone who can handle what's coming next. The situation that tested you also transformed you. The crisis that could have broken you actually made you stronger. The pain that should have destroyed you actually prepared you. And now you're walking into rooms you're actually ready for. Now you're stepping into opportunities you can actually handle. Now you're accessing levels you're actually equipped for. That's divine timing. That's perfect orchestration. That's everything clicking into place exactly when it's supposed to. Here's what you need to understand about divine favor. It doesn't always look smooth. It doesn't always look easy. Sometimes divine favor looks like walking through fire and not getting burned. Sometimes it looks like being lied about and still being vindicated. Sometimes it looks like being blocked and still breaking through. Sometimes it looks like losing battles but winning wars. You were never supposed to get this opportunity the easy way. You were supposed to earn it through character. You were supposed to prove it through actions. You were supposed to demonstrate it through response to difficulty. Because anyone can succeed when everything goes right, but only the chosen ones succeed when everything goes wrong. Only the real ones maintain composure when chaos erupts. Only the strong ones take the high road when the low road is easier. Only the wise ones use logic when emotion is justified. That's what separates the temporary from the permanent, the pretenders from the real ones, the mediocre from the excellent, and you just proved which category you belong in. The gatekeepers see it now. See who you really are. See what you're really made of. See your value clearly. And offering isn't just an opportunity. It's an apology. It's respect. It's access to rooms where your voice will matter, where your presence will be valued, where your gifts will be fully utilized. That's not luck. That's not coincidence. That's recognition. That's vindication. That's justice. And while all this is happening for you, consequences are unfolding for the person who tried to stop you, experiencing what happens when sabotage backfires, when lies get exposed, when manipulation comes to light. The very people turned against you are now questioning the saboteur. Credibility is shot, reputation is damaged, position is at risk, and self-infliction happened. You didn't have to get revenge. You didn't have to expose anyone. You didn't have to fight. Truth handled it. Justice handled it. The universe handled it. All you had to do was keep being yourself, keep walking in integrity, keep holding your head high, keep using wisdom, keep choosing grace, keep taking the high road, and now you're being rewarded for it. Now you're being elevated because of it. Now you're being positioned for greater because of it. That's how this works. That's how divine justice operates. That's how character always wins in the end. Something you might not have noticed yet. The way you handled that situation didn't just impress the gatekeepers, it created a ripple effect. Other people who watched you navigate that crisis are talking too. People who aren't even part of that exclusive community saw how you moved, saw your restraint, saw your wisdom, saw someone refuse to be broken by circumstances that would have justified breaking, and notes are being taken. You became an example without trying to be one. You became a standard without announcing yourself as one. You became proof that it's possible to go through hell and come out with your integrity intact. That matters more than you realize, because in a world where everyone burns bridges and airs dirty laundry and plays victim for sympathy, you did the opposite. You built bridges even as people tried to burn yours. You kept private things private even when going public would have given you sympathy. You owned your part, even when blaming others would have been easier. That kind of character is rare. That kind of strength is uncommon. That kind of wisdom is exceptional, and people recognize exceptional when seeing it. Might not say it out loud, might not come up to you and tell you directly, but watching is happening, learning is happening, influence is happening from how you carried yourself. And some observers are in positions where helping you later becomes possible. Some have connections you don't know about. Some will remember your name when opportunities come up. This is how favor multiplies. This is how reputation builds. This is how doors open that you didn't even knock on. Because when you handle yourself with excellence, when you demonstrate character under pressure, when you show wisdom in crisis, people remember. Talking happens, recommending happens, advocating happens, and you don't even have to ask. It happens because genuine respect exists for what got witnessed. It happens because association with that kind of quality becomes desirable. It happens because excellence recognizes excellence. When the gatekeepers reach out, when meeting setup happens, there's going to be an energy in that room you need to understand. Coming in will happen with a mixture of respect and curiosity. Respect because of what got witnessed. Curiosity because understanding is wanted about how you stayed so composed. What you're made of needs to be understood. Whether the grace you showed under fire is consistent or just a one-time performance needs to be seen. And when talking starts about the opportunity, when laying out happens about what gets offered, listen more than you speak. Let the hand get shown first. Let revelation happen about what your worth is perceived to be before you tell what you know your worth to be. Because the gap between those perspectives is where negotiation happens, and you need to know where starting point is before you can strategically move to where you need to be. I must interrupt this transmission for just a moment. Are you really chosen? Prove it. It's easy to watch videos about chosen ones. It's another thing to put yourself to the test. If you're still here, that means something. But talk is cheap. Real chosen ones take action. That's why I built Destiny Engine. It generates personalized sequences that help you rewire betrayal into transcendence, turn isolation into sacred power, and transform their downfall into your rise. We are using the Dark Elite's own weapons against them, taking their declassified consciousness technology that programmed competition and scarcity and repurposing it to serve divine justice. You put on the headphones, press play, and watch your enemies choke on the rope their own lies created. If you're done consuming and ready to prove you're chosen, start your Destiny Engine for $1 today. Join the Obsidian Inner Order live checks and watch divine justice accelerate in your life. Link in the description. Starting might happen with a lowball offer, not because value isn't recognized, but because that's how negotiation works in these circles. Testing happens. Whether you know your worth or you're just happy to be there gets assessed. Whether you'll accept the first offer out of gratitude or counter with confidence gets assessed. This is a test within the opportunity, and you need to pass it, because how you negotiate this first offer sets the tone for how treatment happens in everything that follows. When that first offer gets made, don't react immediately, don't show excitement, don't show disappointment, just receive the information, process it, then ask questions. What does the role actually entail? What are the expectations? What does success look like in this position? What resources are available? What's the growth potential? Who would working happen with? What's the culture like? Get talking happening. Get revealing happening. The more information you have, the stronger your position becomes. And when you finally make your counteroffer, when you state what you actually need, back it up with specifics. This is what people with my skills and experience make in the market. This is the value I bring based on what you've told me you need. This is what it costs to relocate if that's required. This is what I need to make this work. Be specific, be factual, be confident. Don't apologize for knowing your worth. Don't soften your ask with qualifiers. State it clearly and then be quiet. Let response happen. Let processing happen. Let the next move get made. So here's what happens next. You're gonna get that invitation. You're gonna walk into that room. You're gonna sit at that table. You're gonna accept that position. And you're gonna do it with your head high, with your shoulders back, with your confidence unshaken, with your worth understood, because you know what you bring, you know what you survived, you know what you're capable of, and you're not walking in there grateful for scraps. You're walking in there as the asset you are. When you negotiate, be bold. When you speak, be clear. When you set boundaries, be firm. When you state your worth, be certain, not arrogant, not entitled, but grounded in reality, grounded in facts, grounded in the demonstrated value you just showed everyone watching. You're needed. Remember that. You were almost lost because lies got believed. Making this right is happening because recognition exists about what almost got missed, so don't make it easy to undervalue you now. This is your moment to set the tone for everything that comes next. This is your moment to establish your value in concrete terms. This is your moment to show understanding exists about exactly what you bring and what that costs, because how you enter determines how treatment happens. How you negotiate determines how valuation happens. How you carry yourself determines how respect happens. So carry yourself like the champion you are, like the asset you are, like the elevation you represent. Now let's talk about what happens after you accept, after negotiation is done, after the offer is finalized, after you officially step into this new position, because that's when the real work begins. That's when proving has to happen, that the grace witnessed wasn't a fluke. That's when showing up consistently has to happen with the same character that got attention. And chosen one, you can do this. You were built for this. Everything you've been through prepared you for exactly this moment, but you need to stay sharp. You need to stay aware, because not everyone in that organization is going to be happy you're there. Some people are going to wonder why you got the opportunity. Some people are going to be jealous of how quickly you rose. Some people are going to be watching for you to fail, so saying can happen that you knew you weren't right for this. That's the reality of entering new spaces. That's the cost of elevation. That's what comes with breaking through barriers. And as you settle into this new role, as you build relationships with the people in that community, remember what got you here. Remember that your vulnerability impressed. Remember that your honesty about your journey earned respect. Remember that your willingness to own your growth made potential visible. Don't hide your story now that you're in these spaces. Don't pretend ease has always existed. Don't act like struggling never happened. Your story is your strength. Your testimony is your power. Your journey is your credibility. This is also the time to start thinking about legacy, about impact, about what you want to build now that you're in these spaces, because you didn't go through everything you went through just to get a position. You went through it to get positioned for purpose. You went through it to gain access to platforms. You went through it to be able to create change. So what are you going to do with this access? What are you going to build with this influence? What are you going to create with this opportunity? Think bigger than just success. Think about significance. Think about how you can use your position to open doors for others. Think about how you can use your influence to shift culture. Think about how you can use your platform to amplify voices that need to be heard. Think about how you can use your story to inspire others who are going through what you went through. Because chosen one, you're not the only one who's been sabotaged. You're not the only one who's been lied about. You're not the only one who's been blocked from opportunities deserved. So as you step into this new chapter, as you walk through these new doors, carry that responsibility with honor. Use your voice wisely. Use your influence strategically. Use your platform intentionally, because you have something now that many people don't have: access, credibility, a seat at tables where decisions get made. And what you do with that access will determine the size of your impact. What you do with that credibility will determine the reach of your influence. What you do with that seat will determine the scope of your legacy. And remember, this is just the beginning. This opportunity is a door, not a destination. It's an entry point, not an ending point. It's the start of something bigger than you can see right now. Because what's on the other side of this door leads to other doors. What's in this room connects to other rooms. Who you meet in this community introduces you to other communities. This is the first domino, and once it falls, watch how everything else starts clicking into place. So walk into this next season with your eyes open, with your heart protected but not closed, with your mind sharp but not cynical, with your spirit strong but not hardened. Stay humble but know your worth. Stay teachable but trust your wisdom. Stay open but stay discerning. Stay grateful but stay confident. Balance is everything in spaces of elevation. Too much humility becomes weakness. Too much confidence becomes arrogance. The key is knowing who you are and being that consistently. Your presence in these spaces will create conversations you won't even hear. Your name will come up in meetings you won't attend. Your reputation will travel to rooms you haven't entered. Your influence will reach people you haven't met. This is what happens when excellence shows up consistently. This is what happens when character proves itself repeatedly. This is what happens when wisdom guides your actions continuously. You become a force that moves beyond your immediate presence. You become an influence that extends beyond your direct reach. And as this expansion happens, as your influence grows, as your platform expands, never forget the journey that brought you here. Never forget what it felt like to be blocked. Never forget what it felt like to be lied about. Never forget what it felt like to be dismissed. Because that memory keeps you humble. That memory keeps you compassionate. That memory keeps you connected to others who are still fighting battles you've already won. As you continue building in this new space, as you continue growing in this new role, as you continue expanding in this new dimension, remember that your greatest asset isn't your skills, it's not your talents, it's not even your work ethic. Your greatest asset is your character. That's what got you here. That's what will keep you here. That's what will take you further. Character is what impressed the gatekeepers. Character is what survived the sabotage. Character is what won when everything else was stripped away. So protect your character like you protect your life. Guard your integrity like you guard your most valuable possession. Maintain your values like you maintain your most important relationships. Because in spaces of power and influence, pressure will come to compromise. Temptation will come to cut corners. Opportunities will come to play the same games others play. Don't do it. Don't sacrifice what got you here for what seems easier now. Don't compromise your character for comfort. Don't trade your integrity for advancement. And when challenges come, because challenges will come, when obstacles arise, because obstacles will arise, when pressure builds, because pressure will build, remember what you've already overcome. Remember what you've already survived. Remember what you've already proven. You walked through fire and didn't burn. You were lied about and got vindicated. You were blocked and broke through anyway. You were tested and passed. You were challenged and conquered. You were counted out and came back stronger. The community that now respects you, the gatekeepers who now see your value, the circles that now want you present, these aren't just random groups. These are strategically positioned people. These are divinely connected networks. These are purposefully aligned relationships. Every person you meet in these spaces has the potential to connect you to another level. Every conversation you have in these rooms has the potential to open another door. Every relationship you build in these circles has the potential to multiply your opportunities exponentially. But those connections only activate when you show up authentically. Those relationships only deepen when you remain consistent. Those opportunities only multiply when you maintain the same character that earned you access in the first place. This is why you can't change who you are just because your location changed. This is why you can't compromise your values just because your visibility increased. This is why you can't abandon your principles just because your platform expanded. The version of you that impressed everyone is the version of you that needs to stay present. The character you demonstrated under pressure is the character you need to demonstrate under prosperity. The grace you showed during crisis is the grace you need to show during celebration. Because people are still watching, evaluation is still happening, assessment is still occurring, not to catch you failing, but to confirm their investment in you was correct. To validate their decision to bring you in was wise. To prove their choice to advocate for you was justified. Give them that confirmation. Give them that validation. Give them that proof. Not through performance, not through pretense, not through perfection, but through consistency, through authenticity, through continued demonstration of the qualities that made them take notice initially. Show up as yourself. Speak from your truth. Lead with your values, operate from your integrity, and watch how that consistency compounds your credibility. Watch how that authenticity amplifies your influence. Watch how that integrity increases your impact. Now let's address something crucial about the opposition you faced and how it actually positioned you for greater. The person who sabotaged you thought blocking your opportunity would eliminate your threat, thought spreading lies would destroy your reputation, thought manipulating gatekeepers would close all your doors. But what actually happened was the opposite. What actually happened was preparation. What actually happened was positioning. What actually happened was perfect setup for your ultimate vindication. Because without the sabotage, you wouldn't have had to demonstrate grace under fire. Without the lies, you wouldn't have had to prove your character through actions. Without the blocking, you wouldn't have had to develop the resilience that now makes you unstoppable. Your opposition created the conditions for your greatest growth. Your enemy set the stage for your most impressive performance. Your saboteur unknowingly became the catalyst for your transformation. This is the fullness of your calling. This is the completeness of your purpose. This is the totality of your mission. You're not just climbing for yourself. You're ascending so others can follow your path. You're not just winning for your benefit, or you're conquering so others can see victory is possible. You're not just succeeding for personal gain, you're achieving so others can believe achievement is accessible. Your elevation serves a purpose bigger than your individual advancement, or your success fulfills a mandate larger than your personal ambition. Carry it well, carry it wisely, carry it humbly, but carry it boldly. Don't shrink from the magnitude of your moment. Don't minimize the significance of your success. Don't diminish the importance of your victory. You earned this through fire. You deserve this through character. You merit this through perseverance. Own it completely. Celebrate it thoroughly. Appreciate it deeply. Then get to work building something that matters, creating something that lasts, establishing something that transforms. Because at the end of the day, at the close of this chapter, at the completion of this season, what will matter most isn't what you achieved. What will matter most is what you enabled, not what you gained, what you gave, not what you accumulated, what you distributed, not where you arrived, who you brought with you, not how high you climbed, how many you lifted, not what you built for yourself, what you built for others. The community sees you now, the gatekeepers recognize you now, the decision-makers respect you now, the opportunity is yours now, and nothing can take it from you. Nothing can stop it, nothing can diminish it. You earned this, you survived for this, you grew for this, you were refined for this, and now you're ready for this with everything you've become. Your time is now, your moment is here, your vindication is complete, your elevation is happening. Walk into it like the champion you are.